Okay, hello and welcome everybody to the 21st Community Sync for Rocket. This week, I don't know if you have any, so looking at the agenda, I don't know if you have any demo that we want to propose. Sergiusz, maybe?
Yeah, I want to show a demo today. I don't know, should I start?
Yes, just go.
Okay, let me share my screen. So one issue I've been working on this week is a small innocent issue that I reported myself upstream in Rocket, which says -- insecure options. All one should also mount proxies read write. And this issue has actually a long beard. Let me show you what I actually mean by that. If I just take the stock Rocket installation and I specify insecure all run, or more concretely paths, which is more appropriate in this case, and just start a container. I do see that proxies is read-only, and sysfs is read-only too. And we have many cases where we would like to have those two directories actually be read-write. And that's something you would expect when you specify insecure options equals paths. And we have many issues which piggyback on this. One is Rocket in Rocket. The other is privileged containers in the context of Kubernetes. And I have one upstream issue with the Minikube ISO image that I created for Minikube, where some Calico containers cannot set up things because these directories are read-write. So to accomplish this, there is a current work in progress. As you see, this is a working version of Rocket, where when you specify insecure options equals paths, you see that proc is finally read-write, and sysfs is also read-write. So this all looks pretty innocent. Unfortunately, we have to patch systemd nspawn for that. So I'm currently in a review loop upstream, and also catching a couple of corner cases, which I didn't see before when doing the nspawn addition. So this is currently in an interview loop. Hopefully this will land with the next version of systemd, and then we can also have it in Rocket. In a local branch, it already works, but it has to land upstream first. Yeah, that's all from my side to demo this week. I don't know if I should also go through all the to-dos of all the work that has been done this week, but I will just leave it in the Community Sync agenda. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Okay, cool. And that was it. The background for this is that we need it for the sysctl stuff, so for setting up network parameter in general, kernel tunable, and also if we need to run some privileged pod that need access to this kind of setting. And actually it was prevented so far in nspawn, so we need to expose it first. And then it will also unblock the sysctl ticket so that we can implement the sysctl control directly in Rocket. So that's it. That was like a big block. And then we have like a small section for like keeping in sync and giving everybody an overview on what are the current updates. So I will start with what I was doing in the past few days, which is basically working on systemd again. We landed yesterday the big pull request for exposing standard in, standard out, and standard there from services. This took a bit of time, and again, it was another prerequisite for implementing the exec and attach and pull forwarding for Kubernetes and in general for attaching to a running container. And it will be in systemd in the next version 2.3.2, but probably it it's going to be backported and available before in CoreOS. So that will unblock again the implementation of attached, which is my next task, basically. And then I was spending, again, some other time on systemd because current master has several regression regarding both systemd speed1 and systemd nspawn. So I was trying to track it down before the release, the next systemd release, otherwise Rocket will break in several use cases. And this is a bit time consuming and I'm still not getting to the end of it, so it's still in progress. And then again, we had several bugs related to Docker to OCI and fetching images, Docker images and OCI images from the network. And this was also part of what I was doing. And that's basically all for me at the moment. And Sergiusz?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks to Dive Down. Rocket version 1.17 release. I was the appropriate term is release pilot, I guess, last time. So we had a release last week. Then another noteworthy issue is the work also on Minikube ISO, which is upstream now in Minikube. So for those watching the community sync, we built a Minikube ISO image, which also includes Rocket. So when you do Minikube start, you can launch a Rocket Netes cluster. This is now, all the scripts are now upstreamed in the Minikube project itself. And once the project will be able to build its own ISO image, I guess we can safely then also delete the Minikube ISO project, which currently lives in the CoreOS organization. So that's good news. Also, CPU shares support a new isolator, which we will gain. I thought about demoing this today, but yeah, I would like to land all the changes first in master. What is going on here is we need a new isolator for the use case of the kubelet. We will gain a new CPU shares isolator which instruments the CPU shares C groups. Essentially, this is done using systemd. Yeah, I'm also preparing the OpenStack Summit presentations. So there is a Rocket Netes workshop also present in our organization. If somebody wants to learn about how Rocket works, how you assign images, you can go there. I'm tweaking those slides and also the Vagrant setup to show things next week in Barcelona. And also a big part of this week's work has been on the write support for the ProcFS, which I just demoed. Yeah, so that's all from my side.
Could you look in those, a link to the slides?
Oh yeah, sure. I forgot to actually share my screen. So let me show you github.com, CoreOS Rocket Netes workshop. So that should be already it. These slides are made using the Go tool. So they are in text only, I hope. There is a nice tool out there which renders them for you. Yeah, exactly. So here are the slides, and I will demo them next week. Let me put them also in the workshop notes. Yeah, so these are the slides, and I did a couple of tweaks for next week, especially a little bit more concrete examples on how to assign your builds locally, building parts, how to launch parts with sidecar containers using native Rocket, also showing off interactive parts, simple Nginx parts. Yeah, and this is the link to the presentation.
Awesome, thanks.
Okay, thank you. And then I know that Casey was working on CRI and networking stuff all together.
So not much networking stuff in terms of Rocket just yet. There are still discussions afoot about how where this all is going to come, but nothing really of interest to talk about in that regard. Excuse me. So the things that are coming up are we're going to be merging the CRI branch of AppC, of the AppC spec in the coming days or so. So that will be a conclusion of the changes we need. One silly little thing that's worth mentioning is that from now on, we are declaring it as a norm that Rocket should exit with an exit code of 254 when it encounters some sort of error, not 1. So that way, in the cases where we're passing through the app's exit code, right now we were just on 1, which is too common. So now you can differentiate between a Rocket failure and a failure within the run application itself. That's it for me.
Okay, so thank you everybody. I was actually hoping to discuss more this KVM and CNI stuff. So we have a PR currently open for a big rework in how the virtual machine base stage 1 will also handle the networking part, or vice versa actually, how the networking part will be handled for the KVM stage 1. I don't have more details, so I don't know. I wanted to ask what was the plans and the timeline, but I guess the proposal for that PR is not here today, so we will adjust to the next sync.
Part of that one is depending on they're thinking of restructuring it around if the CNI part also allows you to create a tap interface, but I don't think that is going to happen within CNI just because it is such a strange extension of the spec that it's only applicable in certain cases. So I know they're thinking about that, but I would be surprised if that passed.
Okay, so let's see for updates in the short future. Okay, anybody has question or anything else that we need to discuss and we didn't put in the agenda, or ideas or any requirements that we need to prioritize a bit better? Dan or Caleb or anybody else?
I don't have anything.
I think that's it for me.
Okay, so that's basically it for today. Thanks everybody. We leave like a couple of minutes just to see if anything else comes up. Otherwise, I will just cut it. So there was a question in the meanwhile, which is also if we need these ProcFS and SysFS writable for Rocket in Rocket. Yes, that's also a blocker for that. I forgot about that. But probably is not the only one, or at least that's what I'm feeling. So let's reassess this as soon as we are done with the systemd one, and let's see if it was the last blocker, or if we have something else to also touch.
Yes, exactly. One of the motivations to work on this was exactly the Rocket in Rocket use case, because that was one blocker that I saw when I was reassessing this use case during the version 2.3.1 bump of systemd. But this also solves many other use cases, as I just mentioned, and also quite some dangling issues also in Rocket, and at least one dangling issue in the Rocket NetEase use case. So I hope we will catch quite some things with this.
Yep, let's hope. Let's see. Okay, so thanks everybody. I'm gonna call it the end here, and thanks for joining, and see you next time. Bye.